safety, love, and support, nothing is more terrifying than discovering that the person you trusted most was the very one responsible for your disappearance, your silence, and your fate. The case of Shannon the Medial is not just a story of murder. It is a haunting reminder that even the warmest smiles can hide the coldest secrets.
Shannon Meadows' story begins like many tales of young ambition, full of dreams, energy, and a future that seemed bright and promising. A talented actress from Alberta, Shannon was stepping into a moment of triumph when she secured an important acting role in November 2014. Her excitement was undeniable, and she eagerly arranged to celebrate with her brother Brett at a local theater. But this celebratory moment, one that should have marked the rise of her career, became the beginning of a tragic mystery when Shannon never arrived. Brett's calls went unanswered, messages showed no signs of being read, and the sudden silence from Shannon, a woman known for her reliability and constant communication, sent a chilling wave of concern across the family. Her mother tried to remain composed, soothing her own anxieties with hopeful explanations. Perhaps Shannon was caught up at work. Maybe she lost track of time, or her phone battery had died. Yet, as hours passed without any form of contact, these comforting thoughts dissolved into fear. Shannon's husband, Joshua Burgess, joined the family in urging of police to begin searching, but authorities initially dismissed their pleas, pointing out that Shannon was an adult free to go wherever she wished. Still, the family persisted, explaining that Shannon's sudden absence was not a matter of freedom, but a break from her very character, a fracture in the rhythm of her life that signaled something horribly wrong. Eventually, after continuous pressure, a search began, but the early investigation revealed nothing. Shannon's phone activity was abruptly halted, her credit cards remained untouched, and her usually vibrant social media presence went cold. There were no signs of a struggle, no financial transactions, no final messages, only an eerie void. This vacuum of evidence only deepened the family's terror, painting the distressing picture that Shannon had vanished without a trace. More unsettling clues emerged when Joshua said he found Shannon's phone tucked in a pair of pants at home and her car parked near their residence. These details should have been comforting, but instead they raised suspicions. Why would Shannon abandon her car and leave her phone behind on such an important day? The family clung to any possible lead, and their hopes briefly surged when two mysterious photos were discovered in a Calgary park, depicting a woman resembling Shannon. For a moment, this discovery felt like a lifeline, a chance that Shannon had been found, or at least seen. But that hope evaporated quickly when investigators traced the images back to an unrelated art project. Once again, the family was left to drown in uncertainty. Joshua added another distressing layer to the confusion when he told authorities that Shannon had once expressed suicidal thoughts after a difficult audition. This prompted police to search local rivers and waterways, but again, nothing surfaced. The combination of false leads, lack of evidence, and emotional exhaustion made the situation unbearable. Months dragged on, each day pressing more heavily on the family's hearts. After 6 months of agonizing stagnation, the investigation was handed over to Detective Christine White, a seasoned homicide expert known for her thoroughness and sharp intuition. From the moment she reviewed the case, she sensed that this was not a simple disappearance. Something was wrong, deeply wrong, and the emotional shadows surrounding Joshua's statements caught her attention. Though Joshua had been helpful on the surface, his mannerisms, inconsistencies, and subtle contradictions suggested a hidden truth. On June 2, 2015, Christine and her team arrived at Joshua's home armed with search warrants, prepared to seize Shannon's car and search the property. When they knocked, Joshua did not open the door immediately. Instead, he hesitated too long before finally allowing them inside. What the detectives found next marked the turning point of the entire case. As they entered, Joshua was overwhelmed and trembling, tears streaming down his face as he confessed to killing Shannon. He was covered in blood from a failed attempt to harm himself, an act that further exposed the torment and unraveling of his composure. He was immediately hospitalized, then transferred for psychiatric evaluation. When Joshua finally sat with investigators to explain what had happened, the truth revealed itself as a dark, twisted pattern of betrayal and manipulation. Joshua and Shannon had been married for only 7 months, but beneath the surface, the relationship had been unraveling for much longer. It was Joshua who had first suggested an open marriage, something Shannon reluctantly agreed to, desperate to maintain stability, even as the idea tore at her emotionally. But Joshua's agreement was empty, as he continued to pursue numerous affairs in secret. Shannon later found out about his ongoing infidelity, and this discovery shattered any remaining trust between them. By the time she disappeared, Shannon had already been planning a move from Calgary to Edmonton, a symbolic and literal step away from Joshua. Their marriage had grown cold, distant, and fractured beyond repair. In the midst of this unraveling, Joshua fabricated various stories to divert suspicion. The phone found in the pants, the parked car, the emotional performances he put on, all meticulously crafted to portray himself as a worried husband rather than the perpetrator. In reality, Shannon had been dead the entire time. Joshua revealed that during a heated argument, Shannon confronted him about his affairs. He attempted to silence her by covering her mouth. She fought back, biting him, resisting, expressing her hatred for his betrayal. Fueled by rage and panic, Joshua strangled her. Within moments, Shannon's life was taken, her voice extinguished by the person who had vowed to love and protect her. Horrified by what he had done, he panicked and tried to revive her, but as reality set in, he shifted from desperation to concealment. He hid Shannon's body inside a container on the back porch, where it remained unnoticed for months. Later, he moved her remains to the backyard, burying her beneath debris in a location he admitted choosing so that she would still be, quote, close to him. This disturbing detail underscored the chilling complexity of his actions, a blend of guilt, denial, and possession. For 8 long months, Joshua lived with Shannon's body hidden just a few steps from his door, all while participating in the investigation, speaking with her family, and maintaining a facade of concern. After his confession, police uncovered the location of Shannon's remains, confirming the truth her family had feared but never imagined would come from the hands of her own husband. The trial that followed drew intense public attention. Joshua was charged with second-degree murder. Though he admitted to killing Shannon, he insisted it was not premeditated, but rather a moment of uncontrollable anger. His defense team argued for parole eligibility after just 10 years. Shannon's family was horrified. They believed Joshua's actions leading up to the murder, including deception, manipulation, hiding the body, and attempting to act innocent, proved his intentions were far darker than a spontaneous burst of rage. In court, forensic experts testified that Shannon's cause of death was strangulation. There were no defensive wounds or other injuries that supported Joshua's claim of an accidental or momentary loss of control. Joshua refused to appear for certain parts of the trial, claiming he could not bear to face the family, a move that many viewed as cowardice rather than remorse. Ultimately, the judge sentenced Joshua to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 10 years, a decision that left Shannon's family devastated. Though the conviction was legally sound, the possibility of Joshua's release and the idea that he could walk free while Shannon's life was stolen felt deeply unjust. As years passed, Joshua filed for parole, reigniting the family's trauma. They vowed to attend every hearing, to stand in defense of Shannon's memory, and to ensure that Joshua would never be released into society again. The emotional toll of this case is immeasurable. Shannon's family endured months of uncertainty, waves of false hope, and the ultimate betrayal when the truth emerged. The early investigation was hindered by a lack of cooperation, too much trust in Joshua's outward persona, and false leads that wasted precious time. Even more disturbing is how convincingly Joshua portrayed himself as a devastated husband while concealing the truth. His behavior exemplifies the terrifying possibility that the greatest danger can come not from strangers, but from those closest to you. Beyond the emotional devastation, the case raises critical issues in criminal justice. Should parole be an option for someone who not only took a life, but concealed it for months, deceived the public, manipulated investigators, and allowed a family to suffer through unbearable uncertainty? Many argue that Joshua's ability to function normally after the murder, maintain lies, and continue life with Shannon's body buried in his backyard demonstrates a level of cold calculation incompatible with early release. For Shannon's family, justice means ensuring that Joshua remains behind bars for the rest of his life. Today, their fight continues, even as they revisit courtrooms, file victim impact statements, and relive their trauma to prevent Joshua from regaining his freedom. The case of Shannon Metal is more than a tragic story. It is a chilling lesson in trust, deception, and the unseen dangers that can lurk within intimate relationships. It shows how manipulation can mask itself as affection, how betrayal can simmer beneath routine interactions, and how crimes of passion can follow.
If you're still here watching, thank you. Before you go, please subscribe to our channel, Dark Frame Stories, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another real-life mystery like this.